Why did God create hell? What happens after a person dies? What do people say after experiencing death and visiting hell? Imagine waking up from death itself, only to find yourself thrust into a realm of unimaginable darkness and torment. This gripping account will take you on an unforgettable exploration into the afterlife, as witnessed by someone who claims to have visited hell. At the end of this video, you will hear the testament of one of the persons who experienced death and hell. Stay tuned. The concept of hell and its purpose vary across different religious traditions and interpretations. In Christianity, for example, hell is often described as a place of punishment or separation from God for those who have chosen to reject Him or live in opposition to His teachings. The specific reasons why God created hell, according to Christian beliefs, can be understood from a theological perspective. Justice. One view is that hell exists as a just consequence for human actions. According to Christian theology, God is perfectly just, and as a just judge, He holds individuals accountable for their choices and actions. Hell is seen as a fair and ultimate consequence for those who have rejected God and have chosen to persist in sin. It is believed that God's justice demands a response to human sin, and hell represents the ultimate expression of divine justice. Free will. Christianity emphasizes the importance of free will, allowing individuals to make choices and decisions. Hell is considered a consequence of misusing or rejecting the gift of free will. People have the freedom to accept or reject God's love and salvation, and hell represents the eternal separation from God that results from such rejection. It is believed that God respects human freedom and allows individuals to determine their own destiny. Hell, in this sense, is not so much a punishment inflicted by God, but rather a self-imposed state resulting from the choices made by individuals. Love and freedom. God's love is considered unconditional, and He desires all people to come to Him. Hell is seen as a necessary consequence of God's respect for human freedom. If God were to force everyone into a relationship with Him, it would undermine the authenticity of love and free will. In His love, God gives individuals the freedom to accept or reject Him. Hell, therefore, represents the ultimate outcome of individuals' rejection of God's love. It is the consequence of a life lived apart from God and the absence of His presence, grace, and love. It's important to note that interpretations of hell and its purpose may vary among different Christian denominations and individual believers. Some may emphasize the eternal nature of hell, while others may hold different views, such as annihilationism, the belief that the wicked will be destroyed rather than eternally punished. The complexities of the topic have led to various theological debates throughout history. Furthermore, it's worth mentioning that while the Bible does contain warnings about the consequences of rejecting God's love and following a path of sin, it is also filled with messages of God's mercy, forgiveness, and the possibility of redemption. The teachings of Jesus emphasize the importance of repentance and turning away from sin, illustrating God's desire for humanity to be reconciled with Him. In summary, discussions around the purpose of hell are deeply rooted in theological and philosophical understandings of God, justice, and human free will. The reasons for why God created hell, as understood in Christianity, revolve around concepts of justice, free will, and the respect for human freedom and choice. Ultimately, the nature and purpose of hell are complex theological topics that have been and continue to be the subject of much thought, discussion, and interpretation within Christian theology. Below is the testimony of an individual who woke up from death and claimed to have experienced a visit to hell for a few days.
My name is John, and I want to share my harrowing experience of being in hell. Several years ago, I found myself in a dark and desolate place that I can only describe as hell. It was a realm devoid of any light or hope, consumed by an overwhelming sense of despair and anguish. As I descended into this terrifying abyss, I was confronted with intense heat and flames that seemed to engulf everything around me. The air was thick with the stench of sulfur, and the screams of tormented souls echoed through the eternal darkness. The pain and suffering were unimaginable, as if every part of my being was engulfed in unrelenting agony. In this realm of torment, I witnessed grotesque and demonic creatures that delighted in inflicting pain and torture upon the damned. They reveled in the misery and hopelessness of those trapped in this infernal place. The torment seemed to be both physical and psychological, as the souls trapped in hell were constantly reminded of their sins and the consequences of their actions. There was no respite or escape from this eternal torment. Time lost all meaning, and it felt as though I was trapped in an unending cycle of suffering. Regret and remorse gnawed at my soul as I realized the magnitude of my wrongdoings and the opportunities I had squandered in my earthly life. In the midst of this torment, I felt a profound sense of separation from God and His love. It was as if I was cut off from any sense of grace or redemption. The absence of divine presence was perhaps the greatest torment of all, as I longed for the comfort and forgiveness that I had neglected during my life on earth. My experience in hell serves as a stark warning about the consequences of a life lived in opposition to God's teachings. It reinforced the importance of moral choices, repentance, and seeking forgiveness. It is a testament to the reality of a realm of punishment for those who reject God's love and choose to live in sin.
Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe to my channel for more.